Okay, guys, how are you today?
Doing well.
Good. Thanks, James and Brody, for responding. Okay. How are the other people?
Pretty good.
I'm all right.
Not bad.
Great. Are you enjoying the kind of break, the Zoom couple of days, and have Wednesday is official time for the break? Yeah? No?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Okay. Good luck, guys. Trying to get some sense of from you here. I am looking to all just these black screens, just so we need some kind of interaction here. Okay, at any rate, guys, welcome. And this is information session for the CySP program. And thanks for joining us here over Zoom. And thanks for Jared for the courage of being the first one to activate his video. Okay. And I see people coming on. Just it's it's like contagious, guys. Once one person takes the lead, everyone just try to follow up. Okay. At any rate, so I'll just give you a very brief introduction. Then I believe the most important thing about this session is to listen to your questions and try to address them, because I'm sure each one of you have some questions, and I know that some of you already has started in the application. So I'm definite that all of you saw all these flyers that we have across the state halls, and probably you heard me announcing this in classes if you are in 216 or 454 about this outstanding opportunity that we actually facilitate to our students here at IUP by the virtue of being, of course, a National Center of Academic Excellence, and of course by the very, very established and unique project that we run every year here in our program. So I'll start by just sending this to all of you. And again, I'm definite that all of you have looked at this before, but it wouldn't help if you do it again. So the link in the chat that I just about to send you. Okay, the link in the chat, guys, is the landing page for our DoD CySP website. So the website has a lot of information, particularly related to this new cycle, application cycle, which opened recently, about a couple of weeks ago, a little bit more, but also about all the information about previous cycles, who actually received this scholarship and other related, ongoing mentoring programs that we implement here for all of our recipients of this scholarship. So definitely, I'm sure that you are aware of the website, but let's go quickly here and identify some important things. So these are previous years. You can just take the time, if you have some, to check who received this award before in the best few years, starting from 2018-2019 academic year. Application cycle is open for 23-24, and basically this is you. So all of you who are here are interested in applying for the beginning of the next academic year, fall 2023, and of course academic year 23-24 is what we are talking about. This is the information session. So here are some of the advantages of this scholarship. If you receive a scholarship for this coming academic year, you basically will receive a full tuition and fees waivers. So this basically, in simple terms, it's a free education for 2 years for you as an undergrad. For those of you even who would like to continue graduate studies, can have even additional opportunities to continue up to even 5 years receiving this scholarship. But typically for our program here at IUP, because we only have in computer science undergraduate program, so we are targeting our junior, people who will be junior at the beginning of the fall 2023. Being junior means by the end of summer, this coming summer, the total number of credits that you passed is 60 plus. So as long as you satisfy this very basic requirement, which is you are a junior at fall 2023, 60 plus credit already obtained, okay, you passed these credits, it's on your transcript, you should be fine. In terms of requirement, of course. Minimum GPA is 3.2, of course, better GPA is much more desirable. Okay, so this is a minimum requirement, 3.2. You have to be a US citizen, and you have to maintain, of course, your GPA throughout the program. Upon graduation, you will be serving the same number of times that you got the scholarship as a civilian at one agency of the Department of Defense. This agency is the one that will select you. So the one that will select you, if you get selected, you will basically, if you are a junior at the beginning of the fall, you will typically do an internship in the following summer, which will be summer 24 with them. Then you're going to graduate at the beginning of summer 25, and you're going to start your job as a civilian. You're going to work for them for, say, 2 years if you are junior when you receive it. And basically, after these 2 years, you can do whatever with your life. Okay. So this is generally the program. Of course, I didn't mention, in addition to the benefits here, I skipped the benefit jumping to the requirements a little bit. Let me go back to the benefits here. Full tuition and fees, zero cost for your education, plus 27K annual stipend for undergrad. If you are a graduate students, which is again, none of you, this case applies, but in general, this is 32K if you are a graduate student. So if someone of you, say, will finish the 2 years at IUP and think about graduate school at a different institution, that must be, of course, Center of Academic Excellence, Penn State, CMU, Pittsburgh, anything around us, or any place in the States, you can continue, but I have to work with the DoC, of course, because this is a very special case. But you can still continue receiving CySP. At this point, you will be treated as a graduate student. Your stipend will be 32K. But you have to understand that you will serve the same amount of time that you got the scholarship. So if you got the scholarship for 4 years, your service obligation would be 4 years. Any question in the benefits or requirements of the scholarship?
So I would have one question with the benefits. With the stipend, what happens to the money that we wouldn't spend? Are we giving that money back, or are we pushing that money towards possibly other things to help us with our education?
What do you mean you don't spend? Your stipend will be given to you directly to you. You do whatever you want with it. So your stipend will typically split over 2 payments, 2 installments, one in the fall, at the beginning of the fall, and one at the beginning of the spring. So you divide in half. This will be $13,500. You just get them. It applies to your IUP Easy Pay account. If you have any balance on that, it will offset that, of course, first. But if you don't have a balance, if you have a direct deposit set, they will just basically send that to your bank right away, and you just do whatever you want with it. It's your money.
Okay, thank you.
So, sure. So
I was wondering what restrictions there were for us.
No, there's no restriction whatsoever. It's your money. It's given to you directly. Again, in 2 installments, one in the spring and the other one in the fall, collect all the fall and spring, of course. But once you get it, it's, you do whatever, it's your take home money. You decide what you want to do. You pay your rent, you use it for food, you buy a car, it's up to you. Okay. Yeah. There's no control, or there's no any interference from our side here on how you do with your stipend. It's your stipend, totally free. But the other benefit, of course, is something we handle directly here at IUP. For instance, we apply tuition waiver for you, so you don't pay any tuition. Your account will not have any balance once the grant is awarded. And if it has like a credit, which is typically the stipend credit, you get it right away by a check. If you don't have direct deposit, if you do, you just basically get sent to your bank account. Okay, good question, James. Any other question, guys, from anyone?
Does this scholarship affect how much other scholarship money we can receive from like the Sutton and all that
it's
other
another
stuff?
Yeah, it's another very good question, Thomas. In addition to the scholarships, there's a specific term, and if you all of you, if you read the fine lines of the details of the scholarship, in addition to this very generous actually package, you still are eligible to keep some other scholarships. The maximum you can keep from other scholarship is 6,000 annually. But I have to just be clear about this. It depends on how the other scholarship is, the status, So if that scholarship is based on needs or based on certain income or based on certain things like that, it might conflict with the fact that you are getting almost a 50K package here in this scholarship. So in principle, you may maintain up to 6,000 of additional scholarship plus the CYSP, provided that these other scholarship will not conflict with the terms of that the DoD CYSP actually now is DoD CYSP is pay first scholarship. So you get the package first. Then any other scholarship will come next, and it depends on these other rules in that other scholarship. You might get them, you might not get them. This is mainly a financial aid questions. I advise all my students to explore this with financial aid, but you will get the scholarship first, CYSP. Then other ones you might get up to 6,000 or not, depending on the nature of the other scholarship. Does this answer the question, Thomas?
Yeah, if it's like so like I have one from my bank, for example, like if it's a private thing, not associated with like IUP or anything, would I still be able to get that, or how does that work? Like, would I just have to decline it, or?
Yeah, if it is more than this 6,000, when you sign the contract here with your CYSP, you commit to follow the rules of CYSP. So CYSP say, okay, the maximum you can get from any other sources is 6,000. So if that other payment will increase or will exceed that limits, plus other scholarship you might have here at IUP, and this assumes they will continue, you have, of course, to decline some of them, so you cannot exceed the 6,000.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, any other question regarding this? Okay, all of you saw the flyers? Oh, this is just. Oh, something is wrong here. Okay. Anyway, so this is weird. Anyway, let me go back to the page. Okay, so you saw the flyer and the stuff, and I'm not sure why this one is leading to the wrong link. Shouldn't, but anyway, probably it's cached on my browser or something. At any rate, scholarship application requirements. If I click on this particular document, guys, and this has all the details that you need to know about the program. Okay, it explores everything and expound on everything you need to know about this program. So this requirements, the specific areas, how we evaluate you, and just academic sufficiency. And knowledge and ability will touch on these six, we used to call them OF 612, okay, requirement. So I encourage all of you to carefully read that one, okay? To know about the program that you'll be applying for. Let me get another page here. A student detailed student application preparation. This is another, relatively short instruction page, which tells you exactly a specific guidance on how you will complete your application. I'll go with much more detail and in-depth with you in this information session. But again, as you can see, there's a specific link that you go there, you're gonna sign up for that service, you create an account, okay, and basically gonna sign in later on once you create the account and start working with your online application. This is a summary of what you will need. This is specific to those who are actually current CySP recipients. I don't think any one of you this applies to him or her. I don't see anyone who's currently a recipient of the scholarship. So you'll be interested in the first part here for new recruitment student application. So I encourage you also to read this. I'm not going to read it for you. I'm going to summarize everything so we can have time to delve into the form itself. There's also another document here called Quick Start Guides, which shows you the link and tell you in general, what do you expect when you try to complete the online application. The one I believe it should be, the focus of our information session is how to work with your application tool. It's not the best tool. Probably they improve it a little bit this year compared to previous. The last year was the first year. But I'll just would like to go and give you a very quick demo about this one. So once you log into the application tool, you will find something like that. So you're going to actually just would like to start, a new application. And this is after, of course, you create your account. So basically some requirements like password is 12 characters. How many of you, by the way, can I see a show of hand or like thumbs up? How many of you already created accounts on the AVU system? Okay, some here, a couple, just two. Any more? Nope. Okay, guys, I encourage you strongly to start actually doing this. Probably, Thanksgiving, almost a week here of break. Make use of it and try to start exploring the tool. Again, it's not the perfect one, as I said. Nothing is perfect, but you need to be basically careful and patient when you are trying to fill this one. They will ask you for a lot of information, by the way. So keep that in mind. So if you'd like to make this in phases and take your time, it's best to start early. One thing I would like to bring here, I didn't mention explicitly, it's on the website, of course. The deadline is to complete and submit your application, not complete only. The deadline is, anyone recall?
February 1st.
Exactly, February 1st, 2023. We still have plenty of time. I fully understand that. But, the earlier, the better, because you will need, say, a couple of letters of recommendation. Here, official transcript is very easy. Although, by the way, instruction might say official transcript. Sorry, I have to rephrase. Unofficial transcript is still acceptable at this phase. So an official transcript, you just go to my IUP, you pull your transcript, you enter your just, you already have your account, you just show transcript. Okay, this is all what we need, just print it as a PDF and upload it there. One important warning here, do not do this until the grades of the fall is posted, which means do this anytime after December, like I think 18th or 19th, whatever, the deadline for submission, I think, is Wednesday after the final. So once you see your grades for this semester is posted and your GPA is updated, okay, this is what you will be actually need to base your application upon. It's after the completion of the fall semester. Is this clear, guys? So don't get enthusiastic and go and grab your transcript now, convert it to a PDF and put it in the system. It does not help. Okay, you still need after the fall. This will include whatever information you're going to report about your degree, of course, by that time coming from the transcript, including, of course, most importantly, because it's the eligibility criterion, which is your GPA. Okay? You have to report your GPA after the fall semester. Is this clear? Second time. Okay, so moving forward with the document here, as you can see, it's two parts. The first part collects general information about you, and the second part is more towards academic and what you have done, and just applying just reference letters, etc. So some demographic at the beginning. So these are self-explanatory. I'm gonna stop here. This is a question that all of you probably need to be very familiar with. When they ask you here, I'm currently enrolled or accepted to enrollment at, say, a National Center for Academic Excellence. This is us. This is IUP. IUP is a designated National Center for Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense. It's called NCAE, and this is -CD for cyber defense. So please, just when you answer this question, you must answer it. Yes, it's an eligibility criterion, as I said. So if you don't understand this, just language, or not familiar with this one, this is why you are here. You must answer yes to this question. Yes, we are a Center of Academic Excellence. In fact, for 20 years since I joined IUP. Okay, so we have been that center for the best 2 decades. This is another eligibility criterion, guys. It's a question very important that you answer carefully. Is your GPA after the end of the form, as I mentioned, 3.2 or above, and of course you have to say yes. If you said no, I believe the system will completely render you ineligible, and this will not allow you to continue further. Okay, I don't see your interface for your information. I'm just getting these snapshots from a training session we had, but I believe this is how the system will behave. Then you move on to like degree-related requirements. They ask you some fundamental questions here. You basically answer them to the best of your ability. You have to be as accurate and descriptive as possible. Okay. This is degree-related requirements here. They will ask you these questions. You just go through them. Once you finish, you basically finished part 1 of the application. We'll say congratulations, you are off to a great start, blah, blah, blah. And then you say, okay, move on, save and confirm. Let me move to the second part. In the second part, you will start collecting, as I said, information mostly about your academics, educations. Here, so education, cyber coursework, so basic information here. So you also ask about one thing I put here for you. They ask about work history. So whether you had worked or you still are working on any other outside the school or here in the schools. And by the way, this is typically optional. You don't have to list all the details about your previous job, but if you listed one, okay, you will be required, I believe, to have the salary. I don't know if they fixed that in the current version of the tool, because I told you I don't see your side of the tool, but you can tell me about that by the way. This was the information based on last year snapshots I have. Anyone went to this point, guys? Yes, no? No one? Okay, just in case, a warning, because most probably it will be like what we had previously. If you start filling this, which is not required, which is experience and / work history. If you start saying, okay, job title, okay, I was a research assistant with Dr. Farag in such research project, yes. Or I worked with him in Gen Cyber, I worked with him in blah, 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 okay? So you need to just list your information, including your salary here, okay? Which is typically hourly wage. Any question? Okay, moving forward, this is key projects. This is where you're gonna, brag about your accomplishments. Of course, best to be in the area of cyber. So you would like to show anyone who's reviewing your application, this is what you have done. I worked in a funded research project by NSF and NSA called Gen Cyber. IUP is the only school in the states that offers that. Things like that. And you'll have all this information, by the way, for those of you who are working with me or will be working with me. You can document all this information from the website, and you can just get all the details from the Institute for Cybersecurity website, which also the one that hosts the CYSP web page I just showed you. Moving forward, so just references. Yes, please contact your references. Make sure that these are people who are comfy writing a reference letter for you to support your application. References are typically important things, so you need to approach them early. Make sure that you give them enough time to share the reference letter. The reference letter typically is sent to you as a PDF. The PDF must be signed with complete contact information of the one who write you the letter of recommendation, on an official letterhead. Okay, so again, few requirements for letter of recommendation, which is typically overlooked by students here when they submit the application. The letter must be official letter, which means the letter must be on a letterhead of the institution of the writer. So if the writer is writing, say, it's an IUP faculty, it must be an IUP letterhead. Basically, it must be signed with all contact information of the reference included in the letter. Once you get this, if it is a paper one, you just scan it, convert it to a PDF. If it's already a PDF document, just take that PDF, upload it to the tool. Of course, you have to fill this basic information first about who's the reference. So this is one thing. This is very important. Inside the applications, you'll ask you about very, I don't know how many times I could say very 6 questions. These typically should be answered in no more than 3 pages. I'll switch back here to the attachment C if you remember, and I'll scroll up a little bit about knowledge and ability. These 6 questions are very fundamental questions that tries to give the one who reviews this application a little bit background about yourself here. So you have to express yourself in writing, which is very important skills everyone is looking for. So first question here is about your knowledge of techniques of information technology, security, of course, in particular, including encryption, access control, physical security, threat analysis, authentications. You are in 216 now, which is many of you, I see your faces here, or at least your names. So this is what we have been talking about since the beginning of the semester. Yes, guys? So you need to just explain in very simple things, effective, and address every one of these specific terms they ask for, and show them that you have some background in this area. Okay, then talking about human factors, how many times we discussed in 216, guys, humans are the weakest link, about you. So you need to talk about a little bit. How can we, avoid that and, prevent these, minimize these errors to the best of our ability? From your perspective, the best thing, by the way, is the words that comes from you reflecting in your background. Of course, you have to revise them like any application, and probably have another eye looking at them, one of your friends. If you need have issues with writing, guys, writing center is always available to you online. So I encourage you to improve your writing. These are very important questions, and not that much. Your total answers for each one shouldn't exceed a paragraph or 2, with an overall answer to the 6 questions, 3 pages. This was the limit. Again, we are using a tool now, so the tool, of course, can enforce very easily a word limit on how many words you will include. So make sure you follow that, when you see that text area in the tool. So the questions about how you do relevant and irrelevant informations, make logical decision, provide, a solution to individual. So it's asking more about your problem-solving skills and ability for your organization and, behavior again, are you a problem solver? Are you just out of the box thinker? Things like that. Moving on to just, here's just trying to see how you deal with others. Okay. So feeling capabilities, different people in different situations, how you handle that, etc. Ability to convincing people, also oral presentations. And the last one for, of course, for written communications. So I strongly encourage you to start drafting something very fast about this, not very fast, I mean, right away about this, and then go over these revisions and improve it to the best of your ability. As I said, if you need help with writing, I strongly encourage you to use the free available service here at IUP, which is the IUP Writing Center. Okay, you can even just set something synchronously with you, or just asynchronously, Zoom, or just send them an email with the staff, or submit a web form, and they can help you with your writing. If you need help, if you think this will help you. Okay, any question regarding that so far? So switching back, these are the 6 competencies, as I said, and each one of these area will just again force you to have a limit, of course, the number of words. So as I told you, the general rule, all answers to these 6 questions shouldn't exceed 3 pages. This is optional. Typically, do you need any agency preference? If you have any previous knowledge about a specific agency you might be interested in, you can just rank them here. And you can see a number of them are listed in the application. With number 1, of course, is your first choice, and so on. These are totally optional, and there's no obligation either side, by the way. Okay, so just a preference here you are showing with no obligation from your side or for the other side, again, to just consider your preference. Just a preference if possible. If you have not ever have a security clearance, which is, I'm assuming this is the case of almost all of you, if not all. I don't know about you, of course, all this behind the scenes stuff. But if this is your case, you just say not applicable here. If you had a security clearance before, or if you still have a security clearance, make sure you correctly answer this, and select one of these options based on your case, of course. Okay, one important thing here, attachment. At the end, you can see, you look at the attachment, the required attachment in the application will be basically 3 files. That's it. The PDF of your transcripts, which I described before, after the fall grades are posted. The reference letter 1 and reference letter 2, that's it. So you see, you need to have 3 PDF uploaded to the tools before, of course, you submit your application. You have to certify that all the information you submit, okay, is accurate and correct to the best of your knowledge, and you understand that stuff. So you are going to actually check this box and just, before submitting that application, indicating that you are fully aware that you are submitting this to a government actually database, and you need to do your best to ensure everything is accurate and correct. Okay, once you submit your application, it has to be complete. I don't want to mention stories here, but we have been working with one students in last years to the last minute, trying to help him to complete his application. But the main issue is that that student, he or she, without mentioning any pronoun, started very late. So when you start very late, you understand what happens. And the lesson learned here is, although I was working with him until after midnight on that particular deadline, unfortunately, the student faced an issue with the submission at the last point. Okay, and this has rendered his application actually ineligible. So the lesson learned, the things that I need all of you to be aware of is do your best to start early. Complete the stuff early. If you finish your application and you think it's ready to be submitted, it's not a bad idea to, okay, hey, Dr. Farag, can you check my application? So, can you skim over and see if you can give me some feedback? I used to do this very, very easily when it was, of course, a paper application. So you're going to give me a paper application. So I always review it very carefully and communicate with people if they missed anything, they didn't sign that page, so didn't do that or didn't do that. And I can tell you just, students overlook a lot of stuff. So it's always good to just review and revise. And I used to do that, of course, with paper application. So the equivalent here, once we move to the online system, is give yourself time. Don't tell me, okay, on January 31st, Dr. Farag at 9 p.m., can you look at my application? Okay, I might be working on another grant. I do tons of stuff if you are not familiar with. And I might not have time to even just check your email at that point. So make sure you give yourself and give anyone who you would like to ask for the help time. Okay, don't work always at the last minute like most students. This is something significant. You have to understand the gravity of this opportunity. This is a 50K maybe plus if your tuition is out of state. Okay, a package every year. So while talking about significant, scholarship, you'll not find this anyplace else. Okay, to be frank with you, put it this way. So you have to put an effort. Okay. In fact, I was talking to the program director, who always meet with Ms. Smithley all the time. Even this last Friday, we had another meeting on a different project, and she always say, okay, we want the student to feel the ownership. Okay, this is a tool. You have to fill everything by yourself now. It's not a paper application that you're going to give to Dr. Farag to review eventually, and he find all these mistakes for you to fix. No, it's an online application that you have to go through. You have to review it yourself. At the very end, if you would like me to skim over, I'll be more than happy to still do that. But please take it seriously. This is my best advice. And then once you submit your application, you cannot change anything. Okay. So please, if you would like me to review it, give me enough time before the deadline. Shoot me an email. Hey, Dr. Farag, I finished. Can you check my stuff? I'll go and check it and let you know. And once you get probably use a positive green light from me, you can go ahead and submit. But if you submit before that, there's no way for you to change anything. So is this clear, guys? Once you submit in February 1st, we'll have, of course, time, because this is not a typical grant. This is not a typical scholarship. This is not something you submit right away by yourself. There's other scholarships similar to that. By the DoD has a scholarship called SMART. Okay, that students can go download a web form from the online and go and submit the application directly to the Department of Defense for consideration. This is not that one. This is part of a grant that IUP actually authored. Okay, so I write a grant, I submitted, the grant gets selected, and among if the grants get selected, and some of the applications, sent with that grant get selected, the entire program gets supported for those who are selected. Okay, so you need to understand this. This is something has to be going through an IUP as a grant, and when we get supported, we get that money to IUP, and IUP starts dispersing the money to you guys. This is not a grant that you submit like any typical scholarship. It's a very special program that's part of a project that has to be, written here, and it has to be competitive. And of course, your application will try to highlight the positive side in your application to maximize your chance of getting selected. I don't want to brag, but probably many of you are aware that we have currently this year 11 scholarship, okay, in this program. This is unprecedented number for IUP and probably for any other school nationwide. We have 8 new students, which represent 7% of all new awardees in this academic year. So 22-23, IUP has 7% of the entire United States, awards in this program. So we maximize the chances of our, students getting the scholarship. We highlight the instances, we work with them to make sure that we make them competitive, compared to many people. We are talking about, we are competing with everyone in the United States, guys, who are Center of Academic Excellence. These are 300, almost 400 schools. IB just one of them. So, and many of these submit application by them. So it's a very competitive program, but we work with you. We built a very strong infrastructure here that, ensure you guys are competitive. This is why you can see all these numbers in the website. You can check for yourself, and how many students we facilitate the opportunity for them to have it. So this is just the end of this document, and probably I'll stop sharing at this point, open the floor for questions or any concern or anything you would like to share with me or with us. No question, guys?
I had a question on the competencies, or what is it?
Yes.
The competencies section.
Competencies, the 6
Yeah.
competencies, yes.
Yeah,
Go
how
ahead,
you
Noah.
mentioned not over 3 pages with it. Did you mean like for each of the 6 competencies?
No,
Not
total.
over, or like cumulatively?
All of
Like
them.
all 3 of them?
All
Okay.
6. All 6 of them, your responses shouldn't exceed 3 pages. But again, this was a measure we used when we have the paper application. Now you are just answering each one of these questions in a text, area in the form, in the online form. And you will find our word counts here, so you cannot exceed that word counts.
Okay.
Okay, Noah? Good. Any other question, guys? No other question, guys? Everything is crystal clear. Wow, you're a great group.
So when it comes to filling out the application, getting you to look over, are you saying that we can ask you to look over the digital application itself as well?
Yeah, when you think you are almost finished the application before submitting it. So let's try to be practical, James. Put a deadline 1 week before the actual deadline. So the actual deadline is what? February 1st, okay? Let's assume that all of you guys are interested. I have now 10 students in this group. Okay, all of you will be submitting application to the CYSP, which is great. I encourage you to do that, of course. It's a great opportunity. Set yourself an internal deadline for yourself is January 23rd to 24th, which is roughly 1 week, 8 days before the deadline. January 25th max. 1 week before the deadline, the actual deadline. And make sure that you stick with the deadline and you upload everything in the form, online form, the account, and say, okay, once you finish, you think it's almost ready to be submitted, okay, shoot me an email, okay, here, Dr. Farag, can you check my submission? So I'll go and check, and if I have a feedback, I'll give it to you. So, but don't wait until 29th or 30th or 31st, as the example said, okay, and say, okay, can you check it? I might be able to check it depending on my schedule at the time. I might not. So plan ahead. Key is a plan ahead. Also, when you contact your references, plan ahead. Yeah. You need to give them enough time because it has to be official, has to be signed, has to be having all the information, and of course, probably talking good about you. Yes. Okay, so pick a reference that he or she is willing to recommend you and highlight your strengths. Given that we talked about the reference, I didn't mention a specific thing here, but the requirement for the 2 reference letter is one of them, at least one of them is from a faculty at your institution. So the other one doesn't have to be from a faculty. And by the way, they didn't say a faculty in computer science, for instance. If you're taking, say, an English course, and this happened in the past, or just a math course or any other course, and you think that your faculty really likes you and he see a lot of positive things about you, you might approach him or her to write you the letter of recommendation. So this satisfies the minimum requirement, which is 1 from a faculty. The second one can be from anyone who knows you. Of course, not your relative or your dad and mom, okay? Someone who knows you in terms of any work relationship. Say your coach if you play a sport, okay? Your manager if you are working for out of IUP, you have off-campus job, whatever, and your manager is willing to write you a couple of paragraphs on a formal, again, company letter with a letterhead, as I said, and sign it. This will be a second one. But of course, you can get it from 2 faculty too. So I'm just making sure that this is clear because just two person who knows you, one of them at least need to be a faculty who knows you very well. The second one can be a manager, a coach, etc. Okay, any other questions or concerns, guys, about this program?
Can we include more than one letter of recommendation on the application, or does it just have to be two?
The two is the requirement. I'm not sure if they're going to allow it, depending on the form again. You can just check the tool itself. If they allow you to upload. I think there was a glitch in the previous years that they allowed more than that, because some people, uploaded a version and it was wrong, and they had some hard time deleting it, and then they had to eventually upload another one, which is a corrected version. That's why I strongly encourage you, before uploading the file in particular, to double check all the requirements. For the letter of recommendation, which is 2 out of 3 attachments you need to upload, you have to make sure that it's correctly on a letterhead, signed with all information. And by the way, all the stuff that I'm discussing with you are documented in writing in these actually instructions and in this document I showed you. So in case if you forgot anything from this discussion, okay, or didn't take notes or things like that, make sure you read the instruction carefully. Again, you need to understand the gravity of the program that you are just trying to apply to. It's a huge money, guys. So you have to be you put some effort for that. It's not free money, okay, but it's a huge package and the excellent opportunity. So you put some effort on it. Spend some time, read the instruction carefully, okay, and just follow them. It's as simple as that. The online application is big. They will require a lot of information from you, so be prepared for that. Don't think it's half an hour, I'm going to finish that and apply. Okay, no. Okay, you can, and you can submit, and your application will be eligible. Okay, so if you want to do that, it's up to you, but I strongly encourage you to put some effort, read the instruction first, familiarize yourself with the program. I applaud all of you for taking the time again during Thanksgiving week, although not officially off, to be here in this Zoom session, because you need to know about the program. And I give you the summary. I have been working in this program for years, so I'm giving you my experience in a nutshell, like what they said. So for those who didn't attend, for them to get this very, just condense the scope, they're going to spend like hours reading this instruction, but it's up to them. Okay, any other questions or things related to the scholarship, guys?
Is there anything specific in the application that they would be looking for that would give you an advantage over other applicants?
Okay, excellent question. No, of course, there's a minimum requirement. One thing they look at it very well, which is I advise all of you to do your best. I understand, we have limited time now, but GPA is a very, very important factor. They usually look at it. But let's assume this is given now, fall is almost done and probably, okay, most of your GPA will not change much, given we have 2 weeks before the final. Okay, extracurricular activities, something they look and it weighs high when they consider. Don't forget that we do recommend you to. Okay, it's a 2-cycle, evaluation here. So here at IUP, okay, I, of course, as a lead person and the program director of this grant, along with other faculty, we sit together in a faculty panel and we evaluate all of you, okay? And we provide recommendations. So this is one thing you need to consider. So things that we always look at, and also the people at the various agencies look at, your involvement in various projects. What makes you different than other students? I'm talking about people applying from, as I said, all Center of Academic Excellence in the States. Okay, these are hundreds, okay, of schools. These are not a small number of schools, and you have to differentiate yourself. So what's real proud here is we have opportunities that no one else offers. For instance, you have to highlight that. If you work it for with me, for example, in a research project, highlight that this is very, very big thing. Okay, Gen Cyber, you say this is the only program in the States, for instance, that only IUP offers since 2016. No one else, not CMU, not Penn State. I'm not saying we are better than them, but we have some stuff that other schools don't offer. So we have to just highlight our strengths. Okay. And we consistently offer that, say, for 8 years in a row. So all that information are posted on the website. You have to highlight that and make sure your cybersecurity day. So all of you, I force with you, you choose to attend the cybersecurity day. Yes. So you have to attend. It's mandatory. It's part of the instead of the class. But this was for your benefit, guys, not for you to sit there and just feel bored, but to expose you to just many of you enjoy it. Many of you actually contacted me after that and asked to get contact with some of the speakers to have direct connection with them after the event. You have people from NSA, just coming and for research lab, seeing you. These people don't come to IUP every, that frequently. If it was this way, you have to highlight that. Okay, I attend this extracurricular activity and the event was very well, just blah, 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 attended by such and such. You don't have to just write a paragraph on it, but just a sentence or two is all what you need. So this will be highlighted in your CV, extracurricular activity, participation in cybersecurity club, something huge, by the way. Okay, I mentioned this. I advised many of you at the beginning of the semester with that, and I know many of you are already active in this. Yeah, but highlight. Okay, say participate in cybersecurity club. What did you do? You have to say you just like when they advise you to write a resume, quantify. Okay, I attended such and such meetings and I participated in that, and I plan to participate in the Center of Academic Excellence Northeast Regional Hackathon in the spring. I am part of that team. So this what will make you just, different, because there is a lot of people who apply for these opportunities. You have to understand that. Make sure you highlight your strengths and the strengths that your program here at IB has. This will make your application better, of course, and will maximize the chances of it getting picked. And just to make sure that all of you understand, okay, we do not pick here at IUP. We evaluate your application, and we have our own recommendation, okay, that we send to the Department of Defense. The program is run by, of course, by NSA, but it's the Department of Defense program. So, and then they, given our very, very long established, connection with them and reputation, they typically put our, take our, recommendation very highly. But they are the one who decide, not us. So these decisions are made by these agencies that they see, okay, Noah or Jared or Thomas or any one of you, Brody, Bryce, James, John, Zach, Corey, all of you guys, okay, I don't want to miss anyone, so no one will get upset. Application is really good. We highlighted strengths. They talk about programs that we didn't find in other application. Okay, looks like a promising candidate for me. It fits my mission. Okay, let me just interview him or her. And then once you get interviewed, if you just perform well in the interview, they typically extend an offer for you. Okay, guys, any other questions or concerns? We're approaching our ending target here for the meeting, but let me know if you have last-minute question. No questions at all? Everything is clear? Everything is clear, guys? Okay, we still have plenty of time. Oh, James, go ahead. You had something?
Sorry, no, I said everything is clear for now.
Okay,
I'm sure a number of us will ask questions later.
I'm definite. This is what I was about to say. Okay, yeah. At least for now, we didn't even start, guys. So I'm sure that once you start and you're working with your application, you will have some questions. So I will say, okay, please make sure you carefully read the instructions. that I showed you. All these documents I'm posting on the website for a reason, guys. Okay, so make sure you pay attention carefully to them and read them very well. Start early. Okay, we have plenty of time. The reason that I try to announce about the program once they send me an email and telling me, hey Waleed, it's up. Okay, I let all of you know immediately, so you can start to prepare. You have an information session. We have about 2 months and a half, have significant time off during this time, so you'll have plenty of time to work on this stuff, guys. There's no school, and most of these, time off, almost 5 weeks, off during winter break. So this is a golden opportunity for you to work on this and revise, okay? And make sure you improve it. If you have any question at any point of time, just email me. I'll be more than happy to respond to you as soon as I can. So, by the way, this sessions is recorded, as you can see. I always post the recording on the web page after, of course, the session, so that if you need to go back and you forgot something that happens in the middle of the session, you can fast forward and go there. And for those of you who didn't have a chance to attend that Zoom session during any other conflicting commitments, they will have access to the recording on the web page. So make sure you are aware of that. And if any one of your colleagues or classmates didn't show up, or you know that he is interested or she's interested, just spread the word and let them know that this is recorded and will be posted soon on the website. Okay, guys, if you don't have any question, I wish you good rest of your day, and I'll see you soon, right after the break. Enjoy the turkey.
Thank you. You too.
Sure.
Thanks,
Have a
Dr.
nice
Farag.
day. Sure. You're welcome, guys. Good luck.
Have a good one, everybody.
Okay. Thanks, James. Thank you. Thanks, John. Any question? Chloe, Zach?